Hey guys, I wanted to talk to you today because I've been thinking about this thing, imposter syndrome. Erin May Henry, a YouTuber, did a video about this and it started to make me think about my own issues with imposter syndrome. And what she suggested that you do is write a list of your achievements. Now, I've done this many times before. I've even put certain achievements on my website after I've had a low day and needed to kind of brag about what I've done and to make myself feel better. But today, the list that I wrote was much longer. It was 41 things about myself that I've called my badass awesome bitch list. And obviously it's a bit silly and everything, but I wanted it to be really empowering, a list that I could look at all the time, every time I feel like an imposter, every time I have a low day, and every time that I have a fear of doing something new or something out of my comfort zone. Now, the reason I wanted to talk about this with you guys is because many of us feel this way, and I think that we are always our own worst critic. Now, I am the first person to downplay all of my achievements. I'm the first person to say that I'm not worthy, that I shouldn't be here, right? And that's not good. I mean, as a self-employed person and somebody who's self-published, I need to do the work. I need to kind of shout out about myself in order to get hired, in order for people to buy my books, etc, etc. So if I'm not part of my own team and I'm not cheerleading for myself, then who's going to do it for me? Obviously no one's going to want to invest their money, their time into me and my work. Now, if you feel this way, then I do suggest that you go and write one of these lists, that you don't limit yourself to the amount of points that you can write, that you just write it all out. Like, I typed it up because I wanted it to be neat, and I know my handwriting is awful, so I wanted it to look pretty, and I even like highlighted some things in bold and everything so I could really focus on those points that were really big achievements. And you have to remember that it needs to be personal, that what is an achievement to one person might not be achievement for you, what's an achievement for you might not be achievement for them, and that's fine. And that's something that I needed to teach myself as well. And I think another problem is, and something that you have to think about, is the fact that we are the first people to say that something's bad, right, about ourselves. And that we can think that somebody's judging us, or somebody doesn't like us, or somebody doesn't value us, when really we're kind of putting that idea into their heads. We're pretending that we can read their minds, right? Which is what they call it in CBT. It's called mind reading. You think that you know what they're thinking and feeling about you, when in reality it's your own thoughts about yourself. That's why we get offended by things that people do say, is because we believe that it's true. Otherwise, why would we get offended? If somebody calls me a big fat elephant, I'm not going to get upset because I know that I'm not a big fat elephant. But if they say to me, oh, you're lazy or you're stupid, then I'll start to feel offended and upset because I fear that it's true. Do you see what I mean? So, I won't read everything that was on my list, but I do want to point out some of the things because it might not be what other people necessarily think to put on their own lists. So the actual first thing that I put on there was empathy. For a long time, I thought that the fact that I'm a sensitive person, the fact that I can cry about something on TV or somebody else's pain was a bad thing. That I used to get in arguments with my brother, and then I would say to myself, I don't want to feel anymore, I don't want to care anymore, and I wished that there was like a switch and I could just turn off my feelings. And sometimes, yeah, I still get like that, but lately I have truly valued why I need to be this person. I am highly sensitive and I'm empathetic for a reason. Yes, it might cause me some pain and anxiety and overthinking at times, but on the other side of it, it is important that I feel this way, because it is what will make me a great writer. It will be what helps me to advocate for important causes and people who are considered less than in this world. And of course, it just makes you a good human being if you can talk to people and understand their pain. To not feel sorry for them, but instead understand and feel it with them, right? Because that's so much more infrequent, like, to find people who actually get what you're going through. So that's a superpower that I've been blessed with. Kind of like what Monk says, it's a blessing and a curse, but it is a blessing and it is important for my career and the things that I want to achieve. So I no longer wish it away, and instead I've put it at the top of my list so that I can embrace it all the time. Some of the other things is the fact that I'm a good daughter, that I'm responsible and an honest person, that I'm the first person to say, I'm sorry, to somebody, which, you know, again, like, there's not enough people that are actually brave enough to say, you know what, I'm sorry, I made a mistake, or I'm sorry that we had a fight. I value this relationship more than being right. And so that's the strength of mine, and I've put it on the list. I've done the obvious things like traveling and all that, and my books are obviously, I'm proud of doing, whether they were a great financial success or not, doesn't matter. The fact that I wrote them and dared to publish them at a young age is brave, and it's important that I put that on the list. The other things are around university. Now, I'm really sensitive about this topic. Like, people who know me know that I've gone kind of like a yo-yo of feeling unworthy because I don't have a degree. And that any time that my life's not going so well, I start to worry that, oh, I shouldn't have dropped out of university, etc., etc. But I've put it on the list that I am brave for daring to start university again the second time. And I'm brave for knowing when I needed to leave. That I dropped out because it wasn't right for me, despite what anybody else thought and what anybody else had to say about it. So that is good, and it's on my list, no matter how sensitive I am about the topic. The other things are the fact that I'm creative, I'm passionate, I'm dedicated. I might not be greatly successful, but I'm only 24. Not many people are greatly successful at 24. And so the fact that I've been dedicated to this one dream for all of my life is impressive, and it is worth putting it on the list. And the fact that I'm independent, I've always done my own thing. I haven't done what the crowd says to do. I haven't been peer pressured, like, oh, you need to smoke, you need to try drugs, you need to get drunk at the age of 15. No, I didn't care about that stuff. I didn't want to do it, so I didn't do it, even though it might have made me unpopular. I'd rather stay at home and write. That's what I always did. And that makes me me, and that's really, really cool and important now, even if it wasn't back then. And right at the bottom of my list, I've put the fact that I am so strong and brave and true, because I am vulnerable all the time. I dare to do the things that I'm interested in, even if I do fail, even if I do make mistakes and missteps, even if they don't go anywhere. I still dare to do it because I'm interested in it. And so why not try it? And I've put that I'm in the arena every day. Those people who know Brené Brown's work, if you don't, go check her out, she's amazing. She says in her book Daring Greatly that, it's a quote from Theodore Roosevelt, but it says that the people who are in the arena are the brave people, not the people who are watching. And so if you are in the arena like me, that means that you're vulnerable. You allow yourself to make mistakes, to try things that are scary, try things that are things that people don't do every day. And so yes, people, the onlookers will judge you and poke you and tell you you're not good enough, tell you you're not making enough money, that your books aren't good enough, that your blogs aren't good enough, that you shouldn't have dropped out of university, that you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. But at the end of the day, if they're not in the arena as well, if they're not trying to do these things as well, then their opinions don't really matter. And that's not trying to be conceited. That's not saying that they don't have anything of value to say. There's plenty of people who have things of value to say, and their advice is probably right. But you don't know what it feels like to be in the arena, and so you don't really get to tell me or tell anybody else what it means to be in the arena, right? So yeah, I've put that on the list because I wanted to remind myself that being in the arena, as Brené Brown says, is hurtful. You will feel pain. It's not the fact that you might fail, it's the fact that you will fail, and it will hurt. You will doubt yourself, but it's whether you're willing to carry on or not, and that is what will determine whether you're victorious or not. So if you've ever had imposter syndrome, if you've ever had low days where you've doubted all of your achievements, doubted what you're doing with your life, you feel lost, you feel scared, you have a fear of some idea that you've got and whether you should pursue it or not, make this list or look at your list and remind yourself of all the things that you've achieved, even if they're very personal and to somebody else they're not an achievement. Like, I've put on there that I ran the Wolf Run. Some people are like, oh well, that's easy, but I was like my heaviest weight when I did that, so it's a massive achievement for me to do a physical activity like that, a 10k obstacle run. But anyway, I've even put things like my depression and anxiety. The fact that I get myself through that all the time, often, is a massive achievement. I got cut off there, but you will feel like an imposter at times. You will feel the fear. You will have low days where you question yourself. But that doesn't mean that you should listen to that voice or that feeling that you shouldn't do what you're doing or that you're not worthy. Doubt is this ugly demon that I wish we could vanquish, but it will keep coming, and you just need to be able to arm yourself against it to say, I recognise you, I know what you're trying to do, but it's okay, I've got this. And you keep referring to your list to say, yes, it's okay, I've got this. Because you've done it before and you will do it again. Take care, guys. Speak to you next time. Bye.